What would you do if you survived not one, but two atomic bombings? How would you cope with the unimaginable devastation and the haunting memories that follow? Could you imagine such a thing? The sheer terror, the overwhelming sense of loss, and the struggle to find hope amidst the ruins. Could you comprehend the horror, the destruction, the sheer improbability of living through such an event, let alone twice? The cities reduced to rubble, the lives shattered in an instant, and the lingering fear of radiation poisoning. This is the story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi, a man who stared into the abyss of atomic annihilation not once but twice, and emerged to tell the tale. Born in Nagasaki, Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on business when the first bomb fell. Miraculously, he survived the blast, only to return to his hometown of Nagasaki, where he faced the unthinkable once more. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a stark reminder of the horrors of war, and a powerful call for peace. Yamaguchi's experiences serve as a poignant reminder of the devastating impact of nuclear weapons and the urgent need for disarmament. Yamaguchi's story is not just about survival. It's about the strength of the human will, the enduring power of hope, and the importance of bearing witness to history's darkest chapters. Despite the physical and emotional scars, he dedicated his life to advocating for peace and sharing his story with the world. It's about the strength of the human will, the enduring power of hope, and the importance of bearing witness to history's darkest chapters. His resilience and determination to rebuild his life and his unwavering commitment to peace inspire us all to strive for a world free from the threat of nuclear devastation. It is a story that needs to be told and retold, for it holds lessons that we must never forget. Yamaguchi's legacy is a powerful reminder of the human capacity for endurance and the critical importance of working towards a peaceful future. His life stands as a beacon of hope and a call to action for all of humanity. The year was 1945, a year that would be etched into the annals of history, not just for its significance in the timeline of World War II, but for the monumental events that would shape the future of humanity. The world was engulfed in the flames of World War II. This was a conflict that spanned continents, drawing in nations from every corner of the globe. The sheer scale of the war was unprecedented, with battles raging on land, sea, and air. A global conflict that had already claimed millions of lives raged on, leaving devastation in its wake. Cities were reduced to rubble and entire communities were displaced. The human cost was staggering, with countless families torn apart and lives irrevocably changed. In the Pacific, the war had reached a fever pitch, with the Allied forces locked in a bitter struggle with the Empire of Japan. The battles were fierce and relentless, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The islands of the Pacific became the stage for some of the most brutal fighting of the war. The United States, in a desperate bid to end the war quickly and prevent further bloodshed, was preparing to unleash a new and terrifying weapon, the atomic bomb. This weapon, born out of the top-secret Manhattan Project, represented a leap in destructive power that the world had never seen before. The cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, bustling centers of life and industry, were chosen as the targets for this fearsome new weapon. These cities, with their vibrant communities and thriving industries, were about to face an unprecedented catastrophe. The decision to use the atomic bomb remains a controversial one to this day, but the impact it had on these two cities is undeniable. Scholars and historians continue to debate the moral and ethical implications of this decision, weighing the immediate end of the war against the long-term consequences for humanity. In an instant, they were transformed into landscapes of unimaginable destruction, forever scarring the lives of those who survived. The aftermath was a scene of horror and desolation, with survivors grappling with the loss of loved ones, homes, and their way of life. The shadow of war had left an indelible mark on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a stark reminder of the devastating power of human conflict. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was born in 1916 in Nagasaki, Japan. He grew up in a time of great change and uncertainty, but his early life was marked by the simple joys of childhood. He was known for his kind heart, his infectious laugh, and his love for his family. Like many young men of his generation, he found himself caught up in the tides of war, drafted into service for a conflict that would forever alter the course of his life. Yamaguchi was a draftsman for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. He was sent to Hiroshima in the spring of 1945 for a 3-month work assignment. Little did he know that this routine business trip would place him at the epicenter of one of the most pivotal events in human history. Section 4. The day the sky fell. August 6, 1945, dawned like any other day in Hiroshima. The sun rose gently over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the city. People were beginning their daily routines, children heading to school, shopkeepers opening their stores, and workers making their way to factories and offices. The city was slowly coming to life, unaware of the impending doom that lurked in the clear blue sky. The streets were bustling with activity, the sounds of conversations, laughter, and the hum of daily life filled the air. It was a picture of normalcy, a snapshot of a city at peace. At 8:15 a.m., a blinding flash of light, unlike anything ever seen before, illuminated the city. This was no ordinary light, it was the harbinger of destruction, the signal of an event that would change the course of history forever. It was followed by a deafening roar, a shockwave of unimaginable force that ripped through the city, leveling buildings and vaporizing everything in its path. The sheer power of the explosion was beyond comprehension, a force of nature unleashed by human hands. Yamaguchi, just 2 miles from the hypercenter, was walking to work when the bomb detonated. He was an ordinary man on an ordinary day, suddenly thrust into an extraordinary and horrific situation. The blast threw him into the air with tremendous force, knocking him unconscious. His body was flung like a rag doll, a testament to the sheer power of the explosion. When he came to, he was surrounded by a scene of utter devastation. The world he knew had been transformed into a nightmarish landscape of destruction and chaos. Buildings were reduced to rubble, the air was thick with smoke and dust, and the cries of the injured and dying filled the air. The once vibrant city was now a scene of horror, a place where life had been violently interrupted. It was a vision of hell on earth. Fires raged uncontrollably, consuming everything in their path. The ground was littered with debris, and the air was filled with the acrid smell of burning. Survivors wandered through the ruins, dazed and injured, searching for loved ones and trying to make sense of the catastrophe that had befallen them. The day the sky fell was a day that would be etched into the collective memory of humanity, a stark reminder of the destructive power of war and the resilience of the human spirit. Section 5. A city in ruins. Hiroshima was no more. In its place stood a smoldering wasteland, a testament to the terrible power that had been unleashed. Thousands lay dead, vaporized in an instant, their shadows forever etched into the streets. Thousands more wandered the ruins, their bodies burned and broken, searching for loved ones amidst the carnage. The lucky ones were already dead. The living envied the dead. Yamaguchi, despite his injuries, was one of the lucky ones. He had survived the blast. He spent the night in a bomb shelter, his body racked with pain, his mind struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what had transpired. The next day, he stumbled through the ruins, searching for a way out of the inferno. Section 6. A second hammer blow. He finally managed to board a train back to his hometown of Nagasaki. He arrived on August 8th, exhausted, injured, and traumatized by what he had witnessed. He longed for the comfort of his family, for the solace of home, but fate, it seemed, had other plans for Tsutomu Yamaguchi. Nagasaki, too, would soon be visited by the horrors of atomic war. On August 9th, as Yamaguchi recounted his harrowing experience to disbelieving superiors at work, the unimaginable happened again. At 11:02 a.m., another blinding flash, another earth-shattering roar. The second atomic bomb had been dropped, this time on Nagasaki. Yamaguchi, once again, found himself in the midst of atomic hell. Section 7. The long shadow of the bomb. He survived, miraculously, a second time. The bomb had detonated further away from him than in Hiroshima, but the impact was still devastating. He emerged from the rubble, his body bearing the scars of 2 atomic blasts, his spirit forever marked by the horrors he had witnessed. The double dose of radiation took its toll. He suffered from chronic skin problems, hearing loss in one ear and leukemia, yet through it all, Tsutomu Yamaguchi persevered. He married, had children, and returned to work. He lived a full life, defying the odds and the grim predictions of doctors who believed he wouldn't survive long after the bombings.